championship with top 10 players.
Just as amazing as its love. God's love is just...
Good afternoon. Welcome, NBA fans. Welcome to Just My Opinion, Sports Talk with Big J, coming to you from Plainfield, Illinois. Well, we got a little bit to talk about. NBA seasons. Of course, I want to start off with the Lakers. Lakers had, an up and down week. Matter of fact, I think a week ago, last week, LeBron actually ended up with Player of the Week award. So for the Western Conference. So they've been trying to hold on for waiting for Anthony Davis to come back. So let me look here. Lakers versus the Grizzlies. Now that was a game that was pretty nip and tuck. And actually the Lakers end up winning that game by 1 point. On a steal by, I think it was Dennis Schroeder. Stole the ball in the last seconds. The Grizzlies probably should have won that game, but they kind of fell apart down the stretch. Lakers, seemed to pick up the defense and came through, and they won the game by 1 point. Now, that particular game, LeBron scored 23 points, actually had a kind of off shooting night. I think he shot 8 for 21. The leading scorer actually for that game was Russell Westbrook, who had 29 points, shot 10 for 18. Shot 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. Kind of unusual for him. Every time he gets the ball and shoots, I say, oh no. It's just, you just never know what you're going to get with Russell. That kind of situation. He had 4 turnovers. Anyway, they won the game. Next game, the Lakers played against Portland Trail Blazers. And that was a game where I think they actually went down something like 25 points or something like that. And they were able to come back and actually win that game by 9 points. LeBron scores 37 with 11 rebounds and 4 assists. The key support LeBron got was from Thomas Bryant, who had 31 points and 14 rebounds. So Schroeder also had a good game with the 24 points. And again, that seems to be the problem with the Lakers, the supporting cast. You really never know what you're going to get. Russell Westbrook he had 29 against the Grizzlies. So how many did he score against the Portland? 6 points. Got 3 for 13. That's kind of unbelievable, but that seems to be the way it goes. Then LA ran into their crosstown rivals, the Clippers. And of course, the Clippers are just a better team. I mean, they came out firing from 3-point line. And it seemed like everybody on the team was able to hit and knock down 3-pointers. Kawhi Leonard had 25 points, Paul George 27, Terrence Mann 17, Norman Powell off the bench with 22. And that was a game where LeBron James had 46. And the only other people were in the double figures. You had John Bryant with 15 and Westbrook had 17. But LeBron actually shot 16 for 29. Westbrook 4 for 13. So they lost by 17 points, which is really not surprising, but I think the Clippers have beaten the Lakers something like 10 straight games in a row. So, they're just a better team. And the Clippers didn't have, who was it? Luke Kennard, who's a sharpshooter, and John Wall was not in the game off the bench. So they had a couple of key players out, but Lakers were no match. So then we had last night's game with the Lakers, and Lakers playing a back-to-back going up against the Spurs. And this actually was a game that AD returned first game back after being injured for I forget how many games he had missed. But looking at the box score, James had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Patrick Beverley, though, was the key. He had 18 points. Again, that's that whole problem. You never know what these players are going to do from one game to the next. Here's Beverley for all of a sudden scored 18 points. And I think for his last probably 5 games, he's probably scored 20 points altogether in all those 5 games. So here he scores 18. And you just never know. He shot 6 for 12, 3 for 7 from 3-point line. But the thing about Davis came up and had 21 points, 12 rebounds. Lakers did a trade with the Wizards, got rid of Kendrick Nunn, and they got Rui Hachimura from Washington. And I can remember him on the Wizards, and he wasn't bad. And looking last night, I think he's gonna help them if he can be consistent, athletic, has the ability to score, multiple ways, meaning, getting to the hoop off the fast break, 3 points, mid-range, back to the basket. Those are the kind of multiple ways you look for, to me, in a competent scorer. And he seems to be able to do that. Shot 4 for 7. 1 for 3 from 3 points. So, but again, it's all about consistency. So they end up winning that game by 9 points, 113 to 104. Of course, the Spurs is not really one of the better teams. I think they're second from last to the bottom. I think they've only won 14 games. Um, so they're actually a game below the Lakers. Lakers are number 13. There's only 15 teams in the in the Western Conference, 15 in the Eastern. So, but one thing's for sure, you have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And if you can't beat, the Spurs, the Houston, you just don't have much of a chance. So, thing about the Lakers, they're in 13th place, but they're only maybe 2 games from getting into the play-in. Number 10 in the Western Conference, Utah, with a record of 25-26. Lakers have a record of 23-26. So they've lost 26 games. The number 16, which is Dallas, has lost 24 games. So, with Anthony Davis coming back, the Lakers could go on a little bit of a mini run, 3 or 4 games in a row. They could move up and at least get into the play-in, situation. But after, I think they go on the road in their next 4 or 5 games, so it's going to be tough. They're going out east. Going to be playing teams like the Boston Nets and, the Heat. So they got a rough stretch coming up. So it's really going to be a good indicator as to what's going to happen with the Lakers in this next stretch. Meanwhile, you got LeBron approaching Kareem's record. I think he's only like 158 points off. And, I'll be kind of glad when it's over that he passes the record, because I'm still have a fear that an injury, even a season ending or, multiple week injuries could derail the whole thing. So the longer this thing goes, the more opportunity for LeBron to get hurt. And as well as he's been playing, at this age. Hey, how you doing? Hazel Monroe. I'm doing okay. Well, like I said, I'm kind of hoping that he gets it over with, because I'm afraid the guy will get hurt. And, he's playing well, but he is 38. And time, Father Time is undefeated. And the thing about when you get hurt at that age, it takes you longer to recover. And those injuries. Now, think about Anthony Davis, talking about getting hurt. This is the thing you fear about Anthony Davis. Last night, it was really scary. It seemed like every time he touched the ball and he comes down, you're just fear for the guy. So, oh no. Yep, you're right. It's slow recovery. I think it was Anthony towards the end of might have been the third quarter, end of half. I forget what it was, but Anthony Davis goes up to shoot a half court shot and comes down and twists his ankle, the same ankle that had kept him out of the lineup for all these weeks. But apparently, he was able to overcome that and continue on. So, but the fact that he was twisted his ankle is just scary every time. He gets into a rough kind of situation. If he could stay healthy, the Lakers might have a chance. But anyway, one of the things interesting about the LBJ approaching Kareem was for the interruption in between your stream. I was looking at your channel and thinking if you need some custom basics for it. What are custom basics? Well, what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about LeBron approaching Kareem, and one of the things I heard, I think it was Robert Horry had said that he didn't think Kareem needed to be in attendance. When the record was broken, and I know he probably wouldn't need to be, but I'm pretty sure he would, be there because of all the attention that would go to the situation if he wasn't there. So, I really like to see him and LeBron kind of hold a makeup session, kind of reconcile and skip any any animosity between them. So can I have your Discord? What is a Discord? I show my portfolio to you. So anyway, I'm thinking that Kareem should be there. Another thing I wanted to talk about is Stephen A. Smith and his comments on Rihanna and the Super Bowl. It's funny how sports talk gets all in kind of different kind of areas. Here we're talking about the NBA, and Stephen A. Smith comes up with a comment about Rihanna. I think he was being interviewed, and they're talking about her being a performer on the Super Bowl halftime show, and he made the comment about Rihanna not being Beyonce. In other words, Beyonce is like his standard. Yes, I have Twitter or Instagram. think I'm JGJ 1214. Yes, on Twitter and Instagram, JGJ 1214. Guess you can find me that way. You know, I'm not a professional at this, but I just do this for kind of like fun, just a hobby. Anyway, my thoughts on Stephen A. Smith talking about Beyonce. Now, personally, I place, as an entertainer, I place Rihanna above Beyonce, number one. If I had a choice between Beyonce or Rihanna, in terms of seeing a show, I would definitely choose Rihanna over Beyonce. So I don't really even understand Beyonce has gotten to level adulation that she has. I guess everybody has their own personal, preferences, but I just don't get it with Beyonce. She's a halfway decent singer, but dancer. But to me, she's not as alluring or as attractive as Rihanna. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to her halftime performance, though. I think she'll do a great job. Now, of course, the other thing I got to mention is this whole stuff with Shannon Sharp and what happened at the Grizzlies game, and Shannon Sharp trash talking with Dylan Brooks, one of the players, and Steven, forget the big guy that plays for the Grizzlies, Ja Morant's father getting involved. And anyway, I think Shannon Sharp was embarrassingly stupid. You wouldn't think a person, at his age would stoop to that level of thuggery. Talking about they don't want to smoke. Was he ready to fight over a basketball game? Then he's going to insult the players, talking about Dylan Brooks was too small to guard LeBron James. And of course, the player responded. So how is Shannon? This is one thing always strange. Was that the fans can say stuff, but then the players can't say anything back to them. They get criticized. To me, that doesn't make sense. And they say, oh, the players are just having fun. I just don't think it's acceptable to insult people. I don't see how that's become acceptable. The whole concept, to me, of trash talking it's kind of silly anyway. But it's admired. They talk about it in the NBA. They try to name the best trash talkers. And a lot of people say, okay, Larry Bird was one of the best trash talkers. This idea of trash talking. Well, what is the purpose of trash talking? Why is that something to be praised and glorified? I just don't get it, but it is. People admire that. Say, oh, that's part of the game. Why is that part of the game? Why is talking part of the game? Generally to me, when you have to talk or try to intimidate, try to get people off their game, that means you don't have confidence in your own abilities to be effective in your job, because you're trying to get somebody out of their game. If you were confident in your own game, you wouldn't be worried about somebody else's game. You should be doing your own thing. I just think that's kind of silly, but bottom line is Shannon Sharp was wrong now. Heard some people that were siding with Shannon Sharp. This one YouTube channel, this Dreamers Pro. I don't know the guy's name, but he was on there really taking up for Shannon Sharp. Didn't see the big deal. And how this kind of talking and interaction is commonplace, that you go back to, with Drake in Toronto and Spike Lee, in New York, and all the kind of antics they go through, inserting themselves into the game, trash talking back and forth with, the players and all that kind of stuff. But I guess people consider that, entertaining. But that's the way of the world nowadays. So, and then finally, I want to, mention this thing about this 72 game schedule, because we're hearing a lot of talk about all this load management, and players think, there's too many games. They may want to cut down on the season, and you have these back-to-back games, and you're thinking maybe they have something with the injuries, but that doesn't kind of make sense to me, because there seems to be more injuries now, even though these players are doing all this kind of load management. I don't know why they need to change the schedule. 82 games has been played since, I don't know when, maybe the inception, but it's up to 82 games. So why change it? What would be the reason, the motivation for changing? You say the load management is unfair to the fans. Well, if the fans get sick enough of the load management, then they'll stop watching. And once they begin to hurt, the teams financially, then that's what will change things. So I don't think that that's going to do anything. Then you're going to accept. How do you accept? You're on Instagram. Mhm. So I don't think they need to change the schedule. Well, I think that's all I got for now. So I'm going to see you guys next time.